get us prepared before we talk, so we don't overwhelm you too much. Let's do this, okay?
I think I could have a statement or two from them where they're puzzled or something. I would like that.
Okay, great. You can go ahead then, anytime you're ready.
It doesn't have to be a question. It can be a statement. Or it can be a question. That's not what don't you have them say anything you want.
Gene, can you hear us on this mic? Okay.
Now I can't hear you.
Well, he's talking to the audience.
So why don't anyone who has a question who wants to speak to Gene, why don't you come line up over here, and then Kevin will repeat the question to the phone. Is that okay? Anyone has anything like to say, a message?
Gene, this is Lynn, and we're very excited to have you here with us. And people are interested in your relationship with Carl Rogers. I wonder if there's anything you might say, just a sentence or two.
I'll tell a story first. When Carl was still teaching undergraduates, he said to us, he had a tape recording, and he had a session on the tape recording with him, and we could tell him any way that we wanted him to teach us. And so when it came my turn, I said, very bravely, I said, I would like to respond to your tape first. And then, after that, I would like you to respond to see how you're doing it better, maybe. And sure enough, I said to the tape, I said, on the one hand, you feel, on the one hand, you think this and this way, but on the other hand, you feel that and that way. And I noticed that she was not following what she felt. And then he responded, no, I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. I said, on the one hand, you feel one way, on the one hand, you mean this, but on the other hand, you mean that. And I'm telling it wrong. All I got was, you have two different sides. That's all I got. Whereas when he responded, he differentiated what she thought from what she felt. And I could see right away that that was better the way he did it. He went more deeply because he differentiated what she felt from what she thought. And I didn't get that. So I learned something. I want to tell the story because I want to tell them Carl Rogers did not mostly reflect words. He didn't mostly say back what the client said. He mostly said what he, Carl Rogers, felt that she felt. And he called that empathy. And when he said his empathy, he went more deeply than I had. And I think it's important because in the years since Carl Rogers, there's been a lot of talk about saying back, as if the point is to say the words back. And I'm quite sure that that's not what he did. He stated his own feeling of what the client felt. Am I making sense?
Absolutely.
Oh, good. Then that will be my first story.
And I just want to underline that what you were learning from the client's response to what you said, that it didn't, that Carl Rogers' response did something, carried it forward. I wonder, Jean, if you could pull back from the phone just a tiny bit, so.
If I could what?
Just hold the phone a little,
Oh, I see. Look a little further.
a little further, yes. Very good.
Yes, that's right. And these days when I respond with my empathy or with what I feel the client is meaning, I always invite the client to correct me. I say something like, what more would you say, or how would you put it differently, or what do you say to that? Is that right? I always say, is that right? And typically the client says more. They don't just say yes. They say more like this or more like that or a little more like this. And they correct. And in the process of correcting me, I feel that the therapy is successful, that she's saying things that are fresh, that are new, that are correcting what I said and more than I said. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, because then they have to go inside to see what more there is.
Yes, that's right. And to see what's more, it's not words. So that's my second point wants to be that the person-centered group knows everything that I have to say. But I feel that the person-centered group doesn't know that they know it. Don't have a language for implicit knowing. But they have implicit knowing, and they know implicitly what you very well just said, that when the client corrects my response, they go somewhere to get that.
Yes, yes, so they know it implicitly, but you would like it to be even more
I would like them to know that they know it implicitly. I would like all of you to have a body, because the implicit is the body. It's not words and it's not concepts. It's bodily. And when they go inside to see more slide, they are in the body.
Yes.
It's only from the body that it comes from. And so I feel usually successful when I invite her to correct me, and she does correct me. She says more like this or more like that. Where did she get that? It has to be from the body. But I would like you all to feel that you know that already. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. One of my students said that focusing is being able to know what you know that you didn't know that you knew.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And That's implicit. That's in the body. It's not in words, and it's not in concept. But I would like to say, you also all know, I know you know, that when therapy works, it's because it's bodily and the client is present and you are present. And this bodily presence is already an interacting. It's already an interacting. And that's when therapy works, when you can feel the bodily company that you're keeping somebody. And if it's not bodily present, then it doesn't work. And there's many times when the client is physically present, but not personally present, and then it doesn't really work. They're not really interacting.
Yes.
And you can feel when the client and you are interacting. Isn't that right?
Yes, you can feel it when there's a real interaction, when you and the client are interacting.
Exactly. And if it's not real, then it doesn't work even if it's in the room. Whereas it could be in Colorado or somewhere far away and on the phone. And just hearing your voice, the client can hear your presence.
Gene, would you say that this bodily presence is like the concept of congruence, or is it different?
Like the concept of what?
Congruence.
Power, like we're wishing to eat?
No, congruence.
Oh, I don't think it's like any congruence. I think.
Yeah, could you say a little bit more about that?
It's more. It's like the client is having more than she expected, more than she knew about, more than the concept. The concept, well, Roger said empathy, genuineness, and positive regard. So where would you put congruence?
Probably genuineness, then, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's right that what you mean there. I think it's right that in correcting, she goes inside, and that's where she gets the correcting. But then
Maybe all three of those are bodily, but people might want to know from you what you mean by bodily, because it's not a pain in your toe or a headache. They may not know exactly what you mean by bodily.
Exactly. And I do mean something that people don't seem to know to talk about. I mean that they can feel it in their bodies. And if you don't feel this, if you don't feel power in your body, then the hell with it. I can't hear you, but I'm sure you're right. If it's a concept, then it doesn't quite work as you point out. A concept has many different meanings, many different words that mean something. But a new bodily sense is different. It's implicit. By implicit, I mean it's not a we're going to do something about that.
Yeah. So Gene, is it all right if I ask the audience if they have any questions for you?
Sure.
Okay.
If you do, would you come up here and speak into the phone? And Jean loves all kinds of questions. It could be anything. He has classes with just people's questions.
I can't hear you either.
They're asking people to come up to the microphone.
Oh. So by all means, come on.
Yep, they're coming. Hold on, they're coming.
Hello, Dr. Gendlin. My name is Lynn, and in the late 70s, you sent me a copy of your paper, The Theory of Personality Change. And that paper, that theory, had a big...
Oh, will you please let my assistant say what he heard?
Yes, he's saying that in the late 70s. I'm sorry, what was your name again, sir?
Okay. Sorry? Your name?
What was your name again?
Ivan Ellingham.
This is Ivan Ellington. And in the late 70s, you sent him a paper of yours. And what was the name of the paper?
The Theory of Personality Change.
The Theory of Personality Change.
Okay.
That was one of your papers.
Yeah, early.
Or one of your early papers. So, go on.
I just wanted to thank you for that.
Yes, the theory of personality changes in early paper.
Yes, it was a very important paper for me.
I'm glad and thank you.
The question I have is, was there an aha moment for you when you came up with this idea of the bodily felt sense, particularly in relation to feelings in certain parts of the body? Was Merleau-Ponty's philosophy influential in you generating that idea?
I think it has developed slowly because it had to develop past the point where it all works. And the experiences field already did that. It says that in low experiencing, there's nothing but externals, and then in middle experiencing, there are lots of reactions inside, and then in the top level, it really is a finding, a fresh finding in the body that couldn't possibly be in words. And when that's looked up in the dictionary, it doesn't make the words that would come. Something comes in the body, and it doesn't make the words that the dictionary has. Those are left behind, and something fresh comes. But I'm not answering the question. Was there an awful moment?
No.
An aha moment, a moment of insight when things clicked for you.
I know that I argued furiously with my friend Gail. She said that if the words changed meaning, we wouldn't be able to communicate. And then she said, right after that, she said, when I look in my husband's eyes, I can tell whether he's close to me or not. So, I think that the meaning of the words is very different when you want it to be the same thing in the dictionary. in some kind of a street meaning that always has the same meaning in the dictionary. And that's not what we mean in the Bible. We mean something fresh. Very often I say to my client, you don't need words. You can call it that. And that works for them, to call it that. And that way it means what it means in the body. It doesn't have to mean a particular word. Yes?
Thank you very much.
Yes, we have one more question. I just want to underline what you said about the body, that aha is a body feeling, and that it wasn't one moment, that that's what counts, is this, oh yes, feeling.
Could you say again what you just said? What is it?
I was saying what you said, that it's the aha, that's what it is a body feeling, and that's what counts. I
Yes.
was just saying that. And now we have another question from another person.
Good.
Hello, Gene. This is Howie Kirschenbaum, and
Hello.
I don't think we've ever met in person, but we have.
I will say please more slowly so I understand it.
Yes, I don't think we have ever met in person, but you have corresponded with me and shared much information about you and Carl Rogers for the writing of his biography. And
So where does that leave you?
yes, and I wonder, I believe you and Carl were estranged for a while after the Wisconsin years, and then became somewhat reconciled with one another. And I wonder, my question is, whether you feel at peace with that episode and that part of your relationship with Carl Rogers, or whether you have unfinished business.
I certainly feel much at peace because I find myself saying maybe a different version of what he said. Very much at peace. But I haven't been conscious until you said it just now that we were friends.
Good.
I did know that he sometimes said something about not knowing what I meant. But
I think he came to appreciate your work more and more over the years.
I think that's surely true. And it's very obvious too because that's the way he practiced. And I'm only adding this invitation to correct the therapist. I feel it very strongly, and I say, is that right? And then she typically says more, and this more is what I'm after. So, would that be the same thing as maybe he didn't say it in the same way, but he would want? And certainly the experiencing skill has that, and he was in favor of that very much.
Yes, thank you.
So Gene, I think
that we're getting back together again. Oh,
There are many big smiles in the audience right now when you said that.
I'm glad. Okay. So hello